like you forgot. I call a shot. Like blah, blah, blah. Y'all should know me well enough.
What's going on, everyone? This is Star. Welcome to the channel. I'm your weekend YouTuber. How was your week? Well, my week was fine, thank you. Listen, I want to talk about being an empress because I'm going through a lot of heat right now because the community, they don't like that I'm the empress. And I find that very interesting because they don't know my life. Now, when I was growing up in Detroit, Michigan, did I ever sit back and say, oh, one day I'm going to be the empress? No, I wouldn't have known what you were talking about. When I moved to the West Coast, I started making changes in my life, big changes. I was tired of being the people pleaser. I was tired of getting ran over by people. Do you know what happens when you're a people pleaser? You go through karmic cycles over and over and over again. And that's why people are coming after me. Because they too, they're tired of those karmic cycles, but they don't know how to get out of it. I'll tell you, you got to change your life. You know, that bad boy that you love that doesn't treat you so great, you got to let him go. That's if you want to go to the next level. All the hardcore drinking and smoking, you got to let it go. Well, I've never been a drinker or a smoker because I've always been hyper-focused on my health because I've seen women in my family die early. When I was making all the changes in my life, I wasn't saying, oh, I'm getting closer to being the empress. It wasn't a thought in my mind. I just wanted to change my life for the better. Now, let me talk to the women in my family because they're upset as well. They're not going to say it, but they're really upset. And I wish that we could just have a conversation about it, but they don't want to. They just want a destiny swap. People think that being an empress is just a look. And it's not about the look. It's about the mentality. It's about the discipline. A lot of discipline. When you become an empress, it means you're a master of self. And it's all about learning those hard lessons. I've learned so many hard lessons over the years. Now, if you're out here doing threesomes, foursomes, being a part of the sex club, you got to let that go. That's if you want to go to the next level. Because not everybody wants to do it. And I'm not judging you because none of us are perfect. And if you want to increase your creativity, stop having sex for a while. I know you thinking, what? Yeah, it's about discipline. And the people that are attacking me, y'all need to chill. Especially with that black magic. Let me tell you something. Every time you do black magic on an earth angel, it bounces off me and goes back to you tenfold. So you messing up yourself, you're messing up your family. Stop doing that. And please stop doing the binding spells. Why are you doing binding spells when you can create your own destiny? Stop thinking small. Think big. Invest in yourself. And then you got people that want me to be harmed. They want me to be jumped. They're doing death magic. It is crazy. And then you got people going as far as changing my medical records. Okay, it's time for a mental evaluation. No doubt about it. Something is wrong. And to my critics, what does an empress supposed to look like? Is she supposed to be white? Is she supposed to be half white? Is she supposed to be Asian? Is she supposed to be Hispanic? Or is she supposed to be anything but black? And I hate to bring race into this, but something is wrong here. Because you all are protesting thinking that you're going to make me quit. But I don't know how to quit. It's a black empress somewhere that is sitting back scared and they don't know how to speak out. And I'm speaking for you right now. We're tired of the gang stalking. We tired of you all breaking into our accounts, not just social media, but hacking into our phones and trying to hack into our bank accounts. We sick of our mail being stolen. We're sick of it all. People are so crazy that they're out here violating HIPAA. And when that person gets arrested, guess who they gonna blame? Me. But you can't blame me because we all have a choice and you chose to do wrong. See, the reason why you're not where you think you should be in life is because you're too busy in everybody else's business. Mind your business. And if your whole identity is black magic, you need to be in a padded room somewhere. And if you're sitting around somebody that's conjuring demons, you need to be in a padded room as well. Somebody had to speak up about this, and I guess it had to be me. Now let's go ahead and talk about something fun and switch up the topic. Let's talk tantric sex.
I heard that women can have amazing orgasms through tantric sex. What do you know about that?
Tantric sex is when your body is completely connected to energy from the universe. Those orgasms can be 3 days long sometimes.
Universe orgasms? Bye.
What is Tantra? A lot of people would say, I don't know, and they've been practicing it for 20 years.
Okay.
Tantra means in Sanskrit to weave, to loom. Wow. Some people say it means your inner technology. Tantra is not a religion. It's a modality for healing. It's a modality for your life force. Tantra is your life force.
Wow,
you know?
okay.
Your sexual energy is your life force. It's your creativity. Tantra is about having an orgasmic, pleasurable life. It's not about following rules. It's not about a dogmatic thing at all. It's about... Yeah, it's basically about just harnessing your sexual energy to live the life that you want to live. Yeah.
And how does it differ from Kama Sutra?
Well, Kama Sutra is an element.
How do you actually practice Tantra? Now, the answer might surprise you. To start practicing Tantra, or to start at least understanding how Tantra is practiced, you'll need to know 4 words. The first is Shaktipata, which means spiritual awakening. The second is Guru, which means living teacher or embodiment of truth. The third is Diksha, which means initiation ritual. And the fourth final word is Mantra. Okay, here's how it works. One day, you might suddenly recognize the importance of spiritual life. You might just get a sense that there is more to this world than pleasure, than wealth, than name and fame, than leaving a legacy. You might feel like these goals are somewhat limited, and now you seek some deeper meaning. This awakening, this initial arising of insight in you is called Shaktipata, or instant spiritual awakening. Now, the explanation here is that in the very beginning of time, the Lord, consciousness, Shiva, desired to play a game. So through his Shakti, the power whereby he manifests himself as all of this, he becomes you and me and every individual. And he starts his game by being thoroughly deluded about who he is. So it's like a game of hide and seek, and in the first phase of the game, he's not even interested in seeking. He's so lost in worldly pleasures, in the pursuit of wealth, in the pursuit of name and fame, etc. But then one day, Lord Shiva decides to remember that he's Shiva. So that awakening, that desire to be Shiva again, not to say that he stopped being Shiva, he always was Shiva, but the desire to recognize that he's Shiva, that awakens in him, and that's called Shaktipata, the initial spiritual stirring. Now begins the second phase of his manifestation, which is the phase of seeking, intensely seeking the truth, which is after all always within, but that seeking is still part of his game. Now, for that seeking to work, he must approach a teacher who is a full embodiment of the truth which he is seeking. So he would approach a guru. Now, a guru will first test him, or her, or them, to see if they are the fit student for the reception of this teaching. And the student, more importantly, has to test the guru to see if they're, not just some cult leader or something, but the teacher really is truly an embodiment of truth. And the reason why we know that spirituality is a thing, that enlightenment is a thing, is because we saw our teachers living it every single moment of every single day. So our teachers, our gurus, really inspired us as to what was possible in spiritual life. So the guru is important. Now in Tantra, the central feature of tantric spiritual practice is the guru. Guru yoga is one of the main facets of this tradition. So you approach a guru who you recognize to be a true teacher and not out to get your money or manipulate you, so like a real teacher. And then typically what happens next is called Diksha. Diksha means initiation. So if the teacher finds the student fit, and if the student has tested the teacher and finds them worthy, then the two of them will often do a ceremony. It doesn't have to be a ceremony, but it often is a rather involved ritual where the student is formally initiated into Tantra. Now, this could happen informally, like through the glance, called Chakshu Diksha, or through a word, Vak Diksha, or just through the intent of the guru. But typically, it happens in the context of a tantric ritual or puja. Okay, now, what is Diksha exactly? It's when the student receives a mantra from the teacher. The mantra is typically associated to a particular deity, and the mantra is to be repeated by the student as part of their daily spiritual practice. So this is Tantra in a nutshell. Shaktipata, spiritual awakening, followed by the pursuit and ultimate attainment of the guru, a living embodiment of truth. And then the guru gives the student Diksha, initiation into formal practice, usually by giving the student a mantra to repeat. Now, if the student repeats the mantra diligently, the student becomes Shiva. In other words, the student recognizes that she was Shiva all along. That's Tantra in a nutshell. I mean, of course, there's so much more to say. This is an inexhaustible topic. And so I want to tell you that every Monday night, like tonight and every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, we host a Zoom gathering, a satsang. It's free and open to the public. Anyone from any tradition at any level is welcome. The link is in the bio. And I hope to see you there.
So some of you are out here having sex for hours at a time? Yeah, that sounds exhausting. Tell me something. Do you put ice packs on the bed? I'm kidding. But remember when P. Diddy, when they said that he was into tantric sex with Cassie and they would have sex for hours? Allegedly, because bitch, I wasn't there. So that tantric sex is a whole religion, huh? People really take that really seriously. Let's move on. What the hell did we just watch? That man was having an amazing time by himself. I bet he be laid up like that every weekend at his house. I'm joking. Next up, we got sex clubs. Roll it.
So you're married.
Yeah.
And you've cheated a couple times.
Yeah.
Then you start a sex club while you're married. How does one come to their wife and say, hey, babe, I'm going to start a sex club? Like, what does she say?
You know, she was actually pretty supportive of it, believe it or not. We were not in a good place financially. I had lost a lot, like in 2009, when the economy kind of went upside down. I went upside down with it. We went to Bali. We lived there for 3 years, and I started to do parties and events and things. And then when I got back to LA, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And I was trying these different things. I was completely broke. My ex-wife and I were sleeping in her mom's kitchen. We had nothing. I got a real estate license. I was applying for jobs. I applied for a job as like a parking attendant. I was 46 years old. I was unemployable. I'd always worked for myself. I was fucked. One night I watched Eyes Wide Shut and I'm like, I've got this idea. I've got this idea. And because we were in the worst circumstance, we had nothing, she was just like, okay.
So does she want to come to the parties with you, or is she like, you go do you?
We didn't even know what the parties were going to be.
Okay.
I just knew that I had no money and I was good at doing parties and I wanted to do some kind of a party in LA. I just was like, well, what can I do? And then I thought of like, okay, I'll create this secretive thing where like there is no location because I have no location, and I'll start selling tickets and memberships. And if I can do that, then I'll have money and I can get a location. Strangely enough, everything that I did was just about trying to survive and make it work. It was like, it hit some nerve because no one had done it before like that. No one had done like a high-end elite kind of secretive sex party thing in 2013. For whatever reason, I had this idea that I would have this membership and those members would be able to watch a sex show, a live sex show, which I'd never seen. I didn't even know how to make that happen. I contacted agencies and they were like, you know, you want people to fuck in front of guests at a party? Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, we're not going to send you people for that.
You know, some people will watch that video and they would go and start a sex club tonight. And you know he was making big money for that sex club in Los Angeles. They all for that in LA. I'm Star, we out. I'm Star, thank you so much for coming to the channel. Good night.